Can't hear you on the stream. Can't hear you on the stream.
Mm.
Oh, I can hear me. I heard me.
Yeah. It should be good now. I changed the input, but well, this happens literally every time, and I always forget to double check that my mic input is correct, because for some reason Streamlabs just decides to reset it every single time. So that's fun. But anyways, what I was saying, basically the abbreviated version of it is before we get into everything, basically there's been no real update on the actor strike. So
surprise.
Yep. So I was hoping we would have some good news regarding that to talk about for this podcast, but unfortunately not. So we're gonna have to wait even longer now before that's all situated. So yeah, I mean, all we can do, I guess, is just hope they get it worked out soon. But with that being said, we will actually get into, some of the rumors and news that has come out over the last couple weeks since the last podcast. And starting with that, we have a few Star Wars related things to go over as per usual. Not as much, I guess, as we typically do, but just a few things. And first up, I don't believe we talked about the finale of Ahsoka. I think the last podcast, it was like we were waiting on the finale to come out, but the finale obviously has since released. Since then, it's been like 5 weeks since the last podcast, and they've not like officially because Lucasfilm hasn't said anything, but it seems a lot of people are reporting that a season 2 for Ahsoka is basically all but confirmed at this point to be happening, which, I mean, is good news if you've seen the show, because if you have, you know that it left on quite a cliffhanger. There's a lot of things that they did not resolve, a lot of things they did not wrap up from the first season, which I know quite a few people are actually upset that they didn't in the finale. But it's they just opened up so many things that it was always going to be difficult to close every single storyline in just the one finale that they had. But at least it's good, that it seems very likely that there's going to be a season 2, and apparently it's like the filming of season 2 is going to take place at the UK's Pinewood Studios rather than the studio that they shot the first season on, which it was somewhere in LA. But why that is kind of significant is because Pinewood Studios is typically reserved for like bigger productions, like movies. Like that's where they shot the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. So the fact that they're moving production of season 2 there makes me think they might have some crazy stuff planned for season 2. So I don't know, that's just a theory on my part, but I don't know why else they would.
It's just a theory.
I don't know why else they would, move the location of the production like that, especially to a different country. But so yeah, I guess we'll have to see on that front. But and there's also a lot of people assuming that it could be because that's where Filoni is going to shoot his Star Wars movie as well. Obviously, he also created the Ahsoka show. So they're thinking he might just go from the Ahsoka show like directly into shooting his movie like right there at Pinewood. So we'll see what becomes of that, I suppose. But as for the season 1 finale, I've already kind of talked about it a little bit, but I mean, yeah, okay. Could it have been better? Obviously, sure. I mean, I feel like with most things you could say that about, there's a few things here and there you would preferred maybe done slightly differently, but overall I thought it was a pretty solid ending to the show. I know, like I said, there's a lot of people that didn't like it, especially people I've talked to that are also pretty big Star Wars fans. There's only like one other person I talked to that said they really liked the finale, but it seems like almost everyone though is in agreement that as a whole the season was very good. It's just some people thought that they didn't stick the finale all too well, but I mean, it happens. They're gonna do another season. If this was like the series finale, that would be one thing, but it seems in all likelihood there's gonna be at least one more season, so they got time to give it the ending, I guess, that other people thinks it deserves. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I thought they set up some interesting things for not only the next season and the movie as well eventually, so we'll see what happens. But that that was my thoughts on that. Do you guys have anything to add, any input before we move on to the next?
I'm honestly probably in the same boat. I mean, I figured they'd do another one. It seemed successful enough. Could be better. Could have been a lot worse. So I'm pretty much in the same boat there with you, because it was definitely something that it was, you look forward to.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those shows like, oh, we gotta watch another episode.
Yeah. I did appreciate too, and I know some people will say otherwise, but in my opinion, there wasn't really any like filler episodes. I mean, yes, there were some episodes where maybe not as much interesting things happened as some other episodes, like not as much action, but I feel like that was like the one, or like the first Disney Star Wars show so far that, in my opinion, did not have any filler episodes. But again, my definition of a filler episode could be very different to other people's definition of a filler episode. So, I guess it just depends on that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was really cool. I'm looking forward to see how they continue it. Really, I thought, obviously, they set up the Mortis gods, with like the statues at the end and like the mountain, but it's pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Hopefully it's on the way. But anyways, with that being said, we'll move on to the next thing, and coincidentally, the last Star Wars thing we have to talk about before moving on. And that is apparently my time to shine. Hello, a scooper slash insider that, we cover a lot of things that they quote unquote report and talk about. But one of the more recent things that they have claimed is that Kevin Feige, aka the creator of the MCU, essentially, is apparently thinking about leaving Marvel after Secret Wars. And the reason he's thinking about doing that is so he can take over Star Wars after Secret Wars comes out, obviously. But this is, I don't know if we've talked about him doing like a movie before, because they had announced that there's a good chance he would try and like make his own Star Wars movie a couple years back. But I don't think this is the first I remember seeing anyone say he could potentially take over Star Wars as a whole. Like essentially in the same role as he is with Marvel right now. But I mean, here's the thing, dude. As a Star Wars fan, would I like to see that? Of course I would, because so far the MCU, even though, it's been lacking a little bit as of late, overall it's still been way better than, what Disney has done with Star Wars so far, as a whole, at least. So yeah, obviously I would be all for it. What that would mean for the MCU moving forward, I don't know. I don't know who would replace him. I don't know who I would want to replace him. it's a pretty tall order. That's a pretty difficult thing to replace him. But yeah, I mean, if he decides to do that, I would be all for it, you know. But again, it is just a rumor for now. Who knows? And even if he is thinking about it now, who's to say that he's still going to be thinking the same, you know, a couple years from now once Secret Wars is out? So we shall see how it goes. But that's something I definitely thought was interesting, nonetheless, as a hypothetical in terms of what may or may not happen. But anyways, with that being said, we'll move on to some TV show related things, and the first of which is the Boys spin-off show Gen V. Has premiered and also concluded since the last time we had the podcast. And yeah, I mean, before I get into all that stuff, you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't finished it.
Okay, no worries. That's fine.
I'm on episode 5.
Sheesh. Yeah, no worries. I wasn't planning on talking a whole lot about spoilers anyways, because really the only really just the last 2 episodes. It's like the only thing meaningful that is worth talking about, really. But yeah, I thought it was really good. Obviously, as I said, even when the first few episodes were out, I still don't think it's quite up to the same level of a show as The Boys. But for a spinoff, still pretty good. And as I was telling these guys earlier, like, I thought it started off really good. The middle of the season kind of got into a little bit of a lull, at least for me. I was like, okay, you know, this is, yeah, I kept watching obviously, but I'm like, you know, this is starting to fall off a little bit. But then the last few episodes, specifically the last 2 episodes, really brought it back for sure. Once you watch that, it's very evident as to how this show is going to tie into the next season of The Boys. And not only is it going to tie into the next season of The Boys, it offers a lot of new things for what they can do in the next season, season 4 of The Boys, and you know, just creates a lot more, I guess, potential storylines than I thought it would. I'm trying to like dance around it without giving too much away, but yeah, it's definitely worth checking out if you like The Boys and are, you know, obviously looking forward to season 4. And with that being said, apparently the show was successful enough that they've already confirmed a season 2 of Gen V will be happening. So we have that as well, nice. I suppose. But what I think they're trying to do is go back and forth between the 2 shows. So obviously we just got Gen V. The next, like, season 4 of The Boys will be next, whenever that's going to be, hopefully sooner rather than later. And then after season 4 of The Boys will probably be season 2 of Gen V, right? And then after that, you know, season 5 of The Boys, and I would imagine they just keep like going back and forth like that. But yeah, we'll see how they choose to go about it. But yeah, I mean, long story short, I thought they ended it very well, and it definitely gets you even more hyped for season 4 than even just the ending of season 3, which is a difficult thing to do, because it ended very well. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about it more soon once you guys are caught up. And well, if there's rumors that it's going to be out season 4 of The Boys, that is like early next year, maybe like around the spring by the latest. So if that's the case, we will probably even get a trailer, I would imagine, sometime within the next like 2 months. So I'm sure we'll have that to talk about too. But yeah, with that being said, we'll move on to the next, and that is season 2 of Invincible, another Prime Video show. Has finally.
First episode.
Wait, what?
Sorry, go on.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's finally released, premiered at least the first episode, and yeah, it was it was pretty good. I cannot lie. Definitely worth the wait for sure. I did not think that they were, again, minor spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, but I did not think that they were going to do the whole, I can't remember that guy's name, but the guy that can like travel between the multiverse.
Ekstrom?
Yeah. I did not think that they were going to do him right away. Which I mean, I guess they haven't because he hasn't, you know, done his grand plan, I guess. that Invincible has to try and stop, but I didn't think they're going to introduce him this early, and I didn't think he would have as big of a role in the first episode as he did. But yeah, that was really cool. They set up a lot of very interesting ways in which they can take the rest of the season. And yeah, I mean, basically had everything that I liked about the first season, so I
Yeah,
was
no,
happy with it.
I definitely agree. They paced the first episode kind of like the first episode,
True.
the first season. I guess not necessarily paced, but they called back too. Um, just based on how it started. If you've seen it, you know. But I am excited to, just for more Invincible because after first season, I kind of read ahead in the comics, and
Yeah,
I
same.
know that they don't necessarily stick to the comics, but I am, excited for what I did see, and even if it's mixed up a little bit, probably for the better.
True.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for more.
Same. So there's gonna be 3 more episodes, right? Before like the mid-season hiatus, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't
because I
know.
think
Actually,
they're
I didn't know they were doing that.
I know they're breaking it up, but I can't remember what the cutoff point is. I think it's the first 4 episodes, and then they're gonna have like a 2-3 month break, and then they're gonna release the next 4 episodes. Um, so yeah. I'm sure. Well, honestly, by the time the next podcast, we'll probably have the next 3 episodes out by then, so we can talk about the mid season finale, I suppose. But yeah, hopefully they keep it up. It was really good, and thankfully, the creator of the show has also said that the wait between, like now and future seasons is going to be significantly less than the wait we had for the gap between seasons 1 and 2, which is good because that was what, like 3 years since the first season
Yeah,
came out. It's been a
crazy.
while. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while. Long story short, but yeah. But with that being said, we'll move on to yet another Prime Video show. It just so happened to work out like that. But they have officially revealed that the premiere for the live action Fallout TV show will be on April 12th, 2024. So about 6 months. Yep. About half a year away.
I saw that leak though.
Sheesh. Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Visually. Like,
Oh, for sure.
I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's spot. It looks exactly like it. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Right, yeah, for sure. Obviously, it's kind of hard to predict how good something is going to be until it's actually out, but yeah, I do agree. Just based off the look of it, it's definitely promising for sure. But yep, that is and that's when it's going to be out, April of next year. So I don't know as to when we might can expect a trailer for the show, but probably within the next few months, I'd imagine. But whenever that's out, I'm sure we'll talk about that as well. But with that being said, we'll move on, and a couple quick hitters, I suppose. And the first of which, House of the Dragon season 2 has been confirmed to be premiering in early summer of next year, 2024. So That's good.
I'm excited.
I suppose that's it's one of the only productions actually that was not affected in any way by the strikes. So they were able to continue to work on that show even despite the strikes, mainly since it's, being done overseas and not in the US. But yeah, that means it will not get delayed, thankfully, and it'll be here early next summer. So we got that to look forward to. And next up, Netflix, they posted these images of, I mean, they're basically screenshots from the show, but it's their live action Avatar: The Last Airbender adaptation that they're doing, the show, and they released like screenshots of what like the different members of the Fire Nation, at least like the prominent members of the Fire Nation, are going to look like in the show. And I messaged you a little bit about it, Evan, but honestly, again, same thing with the Fallout show. It's impossible to know how good something is going to be just based off how it looks alone.
Hey.
What?
It is already better than the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, I was getting there.
We're making progress, baby.
I was getting there. Don't you worry. But yeah, I mean, come on, like look at these guys. They're like,
it looks like they have actual production quality.
right.
It's crazy.
Right,
like the characters fit.
Yeah.
The fact they got him for Firelord Ozai, I am so ready. He's ripped. And I'm ready for him to show those guns in that last episode of season whatever 3. If they do a book per book, but
yeah, for sure.
4, 3.
Yeah,
no, it was 4.
Wait, was it 4? I thought it was 3 too.
I think it's 3 because we don't get an air book.
Right.
And I think Korra's 4.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, either way, man. I mean, again, I'm not trying to get my hopes up too high, just based off these images. But I mean, yeah, like just based off looks alone, I mean, it's basically perfectly cast so far. Again, just strictly going off looks. I mean, obviously, I don't know how like most of these people are like acting wise, but I mean, they definitely have the look down for sure. And then you got Prince Zuko right here as the last one. But I mean, yeah, dude, like Evan already said, I mean, already better than the last live action adaptation that they got. But as for, I saw this recently too. I guess I can't remember what event it is, but there's some type of like con or event going on this week in which the first trailer for this series is expected to release online. So hopefully by the next podcast we'll have a trailer to talk about and go over. But yeah, as of now we only have these screenshots, but pretty good. Off to a good start. That's all I'll say. We'll see. We'll have more to talk about once the trailer is out, and maybe be able to make a bit further of an assessment from that. But until then, we must wait. But next up, we have another show. Comes out. I think it's next weekend. I'm pretty sure is when the first episode premieres. It's The Monarch: Legacy of Monsters for Apple TV Plus. It is I don't know if it's a spin-off or a prequel or what it is, but it's in the same universe as the
spin-off.
Yeah, something like that. Something along those lines. But yeah, it basically exists, for those of you that don't know, in the Godzilla universe. The same as like the last few movies that have come out. And yeah, that's basically all the information I know about it, to be honest with you. I guess it takes place across like two different points in time, with like one with like the main character being like younger, and the other timeline where he's like a little bit older, and it kind of like the narrative goes back and forth between the two times. But yeah, that's basically the extent of what I know about the show so far. But based off the trailers, especially the new trailer that came out like a week or two ago, uh, again, don't know how the story is going to be, right? Obviously, but visually, and I think I've already said this when the first trailer came out. Visually, it looks very good, very good. You can tell they allocated quite a large budget to the show for the CGI and the VFX, but yeah, I mean, I guess even if the story itself is trash, I mean, at least the visual should be cool, you know, at the very least. But yeah, I don't know. Did you guys see the trailer or not?
I didn't see the trailer, but I'm definitely. I think I'm excited for it. It's hard to say.
I know I'm in the same boat. I'm like, well, at the very least, you know, I gotta watch like these giant monsters just fight each other at certain points in the show, which I guess
For
is
sure, yeah.
some exhilarating action at some
if I
points.
have to like wade through a bunch of bullshit just to fucking see some monsters fight,
yeah, that's
you might have
true.
lost me.
That's true. I guess it'll depend how good the story is, you know.
That's
like,
what I liked
between
about
those
Pacific
points,
Rim, the
true.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, it's just the story." So I don't give a fuck. I'm not going for the story for them to make sense of this. Of this
I want to see them giant robots fighting.
I want to see giant robots fighting.
Yeah.
I want it to look cool and badass, and it did.
And it did.
As long as they don't do what they did with the one, can't remember which Godzilla movie it was, but like they showed Bryan Cranston in the trailer, and he's literally in the movie for like a minute and a half, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
Half the reason I came was for Bryan Cranston.
it was the first one,
gone.
yeah, in 2014, yeah, but
motherfucker,
yeah, that was. I mean, to be fair, the movie was pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even though he does die in very early in the movie,
I mean, for sure.
That was the one with Aaron Taylor Johnson, right? Like he played his son or whatever.
And it was a very weird. I guess I just think of Shin Godzilla now when I think of Godzilla, and that's just a totally different.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of
that's
movie.
True. That's a fair point.
But yeah, no, I mean, giant monsters fighting and shit. I'm all for it.
Right, too. Yep, that is true.
Kind of like SCP, but for giant monsters.
Yeah, basically.
Speaking of that, are we ever gonna get an SCP series? You know how good that would be?
True, actually. Very true.
It'd be so episodic. Like, you wouldn't even have to, like, have an overarching story.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I don't know. I know A24 is trying to get into, like, the TV series, like, business. Maybe they can,
they could definitely
secure the rights and do, like, SCP series or something.
They can get a different director for each episode. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Kind of like an anthology kind of
for
series.
Sure, yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Oh yeah, there's just so many different like entities and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, because I've seen like a few like fan films and whatnot on like YouTube or like TikTok or whatever, and yeah, like you can definitely make some very interesting content out of that. But yeah, who knows? I guess we'll see what happens. But anyways, we will quickly go over these next few things so we can get into the good stuff, if you know what I mean. But first up, the Five Nights at Freddy's live action film finally released. I did see the film. I don't know about these guys, but I did see it, and I would it's definitely not as bad as the reviews are saying. So long story short, that's like the biggest thing I can say.
The fans like it, and that's all that fucking matters, really.
Yeah, like I'm not even.
They made so much money.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think it was. Hold on, this article might even say it, but
they spent like 20 mil on it, and they made like 130 open.
I know. I think it made the or it was the highest grossing opening weekend of any Blumhouse movie up till now, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, right here. It It was poised to become the highest opening weekend for Blumhouse, breaking 2018 Halloween Remake's previous record of 76.2 million. So, long story short, a sequel is definitely being made, even if they haven't officially announced it yet. But yeah, I mean, I'm not even like a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan, to be honest with you. Like, I don't really know, or I should say, I didn't know a whole lot about the overall lore and everything going into the film. I was just like a fan of the games pretty much, but that's about it. Like, I didn't really go any further with it. But yeah, I mean, even despite that, like not knowing a whole lot about the lore, I still thought the movie was decent. I mean, is it like, does it, break the mold? Is it like groundbreaking? No, but it's certainly not. What is, I can't remember what it has on like Rotten Tomatoes. That's like a 25-30%, something like that on Rotten Tomatoes. It is not that bad.
Yeah, I think the audience score is like 80 something.
Yeah, that's probably about where I'd probably put it like around like a 70-75% if I had to put the score on there with just my one personal review of it. But yeah, it is definitely a solid film for sure. Now, I also, because I've seen some people's complaints about it, like I definitely do agree with some people's complaints about the film. Like, it definitely isn't like a straight up horror film, like through and through. There are some elements of that at different points throughout the movie, but it definitely focuses more on the story and the characters than, trying to like jump scare you or anything like that. But so I could understand, if you were hoping the movie was going to be something like that, not really caring for it. But yeah, I thought it was decent, long story short. But yeah, we'll move on. And we just out of the blue, for some reason, got the first trailer for the next Planet of the Apes film called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And looks pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. Like it. Yep. Looks pretty good. I was, again, not saying it's going to be a good film, but once they revealed that Matt Reeves was not going to be doing it, or a part, well, I can't say he's not a part of the film. He might be like an executive producer or something, but he's not. Once I heard he wasn't going to be like writing or directing it or anything like that, I was like, is it going to be as good as the others? I don't know, but I mean, the trailer, it's got potential for sure. That's about it. That's about all I can say. But
yeah, definitely has potential. I don't think it's gonna be as good, but who knows? Maybe my pre-bias will do me a favor, and I'll actually be really surprised at how good it is.
Yeah, one can hope. One can hope.
That's about all you can hope for, really.
Yeah, we'll have to see once it's released. I was trying to look and see if this article mentioned the release date because I couldn't remember. Oh yeah, May 24th of next year, 2024 is when that'll be out. But yeah, we'll know then, I suppose. But next up, I don't know if anyone has seen the horror film called It Follows, released way back in 2014. Definitely. Hey, I mean, you said it, not me. Anyways.
You said it, not me.
But yeah, it's I know a lot of people like it. I mean, I thought it was good too. I don't I don't swear by it like some people do, but yeah, it definitely has grown a bit of a cult following, I suppose, since it released. But they've officially announced that a sequel to said film is now in the works called It. Wait, what is it called? They Follow. They Follow is what it's called.
All right, they're getting out of hand.
But I mean, I guess it's yes, I suppose it's better than It Follows too. I don't know, but.
I mean, is it? How about It Also Follows?
It Also Follows. Any variation of that, any variation. But yep, they officially announced that, and they also announced, well, not the same people. CD Projekt Red, the game development studio that's made the Cyberpunk 2077 game. They announced that they're actually teaming up with, hold on, I have to look and see who it is because I can't remember the name of the studio. Anonymous Content. They're teaming up with that studio to produce a live action project set in the world of Cyberpunk 2077.
I'm ready, dude. The anime is one of the best single season animes I've had.
Yeah,
I've watched.
It was very good. So yeah, I mean, that plus the game, obviously, the potential of a live action project. I don't know. They didn't clarify if it's going to be a movie or a show, but either way, whatever they decide to do, obviously it has very high potential as to what it could be. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's still, they don't even have like a script or anything like that yet, so it's obviously very, very early in production, or in development rather. And yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see until more information comes out. But apparently the studio that they teamed up with, by the way, Anonymous Content, is also responsible for
the Holocaust. What? Holy, that's crazy. I can't believe it says that.
Imagine. Emmy-winning series such as True Detective and Mr. Robot.
Ooh, True Detective. Which seasons? Which seasons?
It doesn't say. It doesn't say.
It could be too many different things.
As well as Academy Award-winning films such as The Revenant and Spotlight. Both of those were very good, at least. As for the True Detective one, I don't know which season it was. Maybe it's all of them. I'm not sure, but
let's hope not. Let's hope it's not season 2.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see as they continue to work on that. But yeah, I'm definitely hyped that they decided to do that for sure. And the last thing, in terms of movie related stuff that we have to talk about is something actually relating to A24, which we brought up a little bit ago. Apparently, they are trying, or I guess they're in the process of pivoting to create more action and big IP projects after losing millions of dollars on some of their recent films. So yeah, the reason I wanted to include this is because people are going crazy about this in a bad way. They think it's a bad move on A24's part. Obviously, if you don't know who A24 is, they've kind of made their brand on, well, not only that, but creating more like smaller budget, like indie type films, right? They've kind of shied away from, like the big like blockbuster franchises and like action IP, stuff like that. They definitely have like their own very unique style of films that they try to put out there. And fans of those types of movies are very pissed that they're trying to go for some of these big IP projects and making like huge like action epic blockbuster type films and stuff like that. But
I mean, they could be good with an actual story.
Exactly. That's one part of it. That's one side of it. Obviously, they could make these things like actually good, right? Like that's the one side of the coin. But the other thing is, as it says here, they're obviously losing tons of money. Like the cold hard truth is that these types of films, like the big IP, huge action blockbusters, all that stuff, are the ones that typically make the most money, right? So if you're doing everything but that, obviously you're going to be making way less money than pretty much every other studio is. And although they don't have like huge budgets allocated to their movies anyways, the fact that they're still losing millions of dollars on it, I mean, they obviously have to do something if they want to stay afloat, right? Like they can't just keep doing the same thing and expect to, anything to change, right? So to me, it makes sense. Obviously, like why wouldn't you start doing other stuff if what you're doing is it's just, you know, not working, at least from a business perspective, right? And also, as it says here, they still plan to invest in the same type of content that they are currently developing on top of these things as well. So it's not like they're completely pivoting to only do, you know, like these big action IP projects. They're still going to be doing the stuff that they're known for. It's just that they're going to sprinkle in, you know, some of these more maybe well-known like characters or IP type films alongside that, so that those can, you know, hopefully make some more money that they can then in turn use that money for, you know, these other like smaller budget indie type projects that they still want to do as well, right? So taking all of that into account, I think it's a good idea on their part. And as you said too, Evan, I'm actually very interested to see what they do with some of these big, you know, IP projects, because I think they can do I think they could do very well on them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that is what they're apparently trying to be doing. But yep, that's all I got. That's all I got for what I wanted to talk about. So now we can transition to some Marvel related stuff if you guys are down. And with that being said, Ben, take over.
So to start off here, we had Loki come out the last couple weeks. Will this be our first time talking about it since the last podcast?
I think so. I don't know. At most, there might have been one episode out when we had the last podcast, but I don't think it was any more than one episode.
Okay. Well, you can definitely tell that this is where all the budget went to. But I actually really am enjoying where the overall story is going, and I'm kind of looking forward to see how they wrap up this last episode. I mean, I feel like they have a lot to, well, not really a lot, but like a lot of important stuff to really touch up on here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously there are theories as to what's going to happen in the finale, right?
No, I know.
I mean, you just type in Loki finale predictions or theories, whatever, into YouTube, and you're going to get like hundreds of videos that pop up. But this is like the only other time I felt this in terms of like just having literally no clue as to what's going to happen in this finale. Well, the only other times was probably the first season of Loki and maybe like WandaVision. That's it. I feel like every other show so far, I've had like a pretty good idea of where I thought the finale was going to go and like what they were going to do. But yeah, I mean, I feel like they could just take it in any direction. Like they could, most of them good too. Like I feel like there's a lot of cool different things that they could do for the finale.
Dude,
I've seen
this last episode was nuts.
Oh yeah, when he like learns to control the time slipping at the end.
At the end, but like all the way leading up to that moment was fucking nuts.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, man. Well, I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens on Thursday. But
dude.
I know. I think like the biggest.
So good.
I think the biggest theory I've seen is that people think that Loki is gonna basically become the next He Who Remains, as like the god of stories or whatever from the comics, and he's just gonna be the one to like start overseeing like all the branches and all the timelines by the end of the finale. But I mean, that's certainly one possibility, I suppose. But we'll, like I said, there's like so many different things they could do, and even if that does happen too, I mean, like what? Because we've been hearing all this time that this is going to be one of the biggest things that sets up like Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, right? So I feel like they're gonna set up other things as well throughout the episode. It might even have like an end credit scene that maybe directly leads into one of those movies. I don't know. I mean, like there's a lot of cool things that could happen, whether we realize it once it's out or it takes us like a few years to realize the significance, right? Of what happens whenever, Secret Wars is out. But I'm very much looking forward to it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be good, dude. I know
Sheesh.
it has to be.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it'll disappoint.
I don't think they're gonna pull a secret
Loki
invasion.
Loki just becomes Fat Thor.
Sheesh.
I'm done.
Yeah, it should be sick.
So, if that wraps up your guys' thoughts on Loki, we go to Marvel has officially revealed a new banner for certain Disney Plus content called Marvel Spotlight. Shows under this banner will focus on more grounded, character-driven stories with street-level stakes, instead of a larger MCU connection. And the first of which of these shows will start with Echo.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess I can understand why they chose to do that. I mean, I guess they're trying to keep this separate. So the only thing I can imagine is they just assume that if they make a project that doesn't tie in with other shows or other movies, or it doesn't have like any crossover characters, or doesn't have like huge continuity with other MCU projects like Loki and stuff like that, I think they've just assumed up until this point that people would not be interested in that. Um, that's the only reason I can think of as to why they decided to make like a separate category for these types of shows. As Ben pointed out, like, they're gonna be smaller scale, like character driven, with not like they're not gonna have like world ending or like city ending stakes attached to it. It's just gonna be like very street level, as he said. But based off the trailer for Echo, which we'll be talking about next year, I think. Um, I mean, if it pans out, I think people are definitely gonna go for this type of content as well. And I've heard that like the Daredevil show, Punisher, maybe even some other stuff like Ghost Rider, if they end up doing that, are also going to fall under this banner as well, like the Marvel Spotlight. So
I don't. As long as it's good, bro. I literally could not care.
exactly. And honestly, too, like with the exception of Loki, well, and Secret Invasion too, but they absolutely tanked that. Um, with the exception, because I consider like Moon Knight to be in that same category as well. Like Moon Knight was very low stakes, like really didn't connect to any other MCU project. Like if Moon Knight had yet to come out, I'm sure that they would put it as a Marvel Spotlight title as well. But like shows like that, Echo, Daredevil, like honestly, most of the times I'm more interested in those types of shows than any of the other ones that they've done, with the exception of Loki, as I've said. But yeah.
I mean, it sounds like they're just trying to separate things and add more confusion.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, as mentioned, these shows or this type of show will start with Echo. Coincidentally, we got the first trailer for Echo not too long ago. This will definitely be the first TV show that's mature rated for Disney Plus. Well, one of the first, I shouldn't say first. And
I think it is the first, isn't
be
it?
releasing on January 10th, 2024.
I'm pretty sure it is the first, right? Like the first TV mature rated show.
TV show, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the first mature rated on Disney Plus.
Correct. Yeah. Um, at least,
Let's
yeah. I guess the
go.
original content because they do have. Wait, do they have? No, no, they don't have that on there as well. But sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Like to myself. Yeah. I mean, as I said, I thought the trailer looked pretty decent. I mean, it's very short. Like, doesn't really show a whole lot, but um, it definitely gets me interested in the show for sure. And as for the TV mature rating, I obviously think it's a good idea. I've been saying this for a long time. I thought Moon Knight should have been TV mature rated, but that's a whole different story. But I mean, at the very least, I'm glad that they're finally starting to do this now because it definitely should be a TV mature rated show.
That whole trailer definitely gives me Daredevil vibes.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Which we actually do see Daredevil in the trailer as well. He's but I guess he's not going to be in it for very much though.
Too much, yeah.
Yeah, I heard he might be in like a couple scenes at most, but I think he's mostly there just to like have it make more sense for when she turns up in Daredevil Born Again whenever that show comes out. But yeah, man, like I said, obviously not a whole lot to go off of from the trailer, but what little we were shown, I mean, I'm certainly interested in it for sure. Hopefully it's good. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah. Okay. Should be. MCU should be allowed.
Sheesh.
So now we have The Hollywood Reporter has claimed that Marvel plans to change how it makes their TV content following recent criticisms. These changes include hiring actual showrunners to oversee each project and focusing on multi-season series rather than limited series seasons. Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's a good change. Having an actual so for those of you that don't know, a quick rundown. What they've been doing up until now are they hire what they call either head writer or lead writer is what the position is called, but they hire like a lead writer, and they basically serve as the quote unquote showrunner for these shows. But the problem is they're not actually showrunners. Like they do not have like full creative control over like what happens in the show. And from what's been rumored, that is one of the main reasons why certain shows like Secret Invasion like kind of flopped towards the end, is because like the writers and the directors were like just clashing on their like perspectives and ideas as to where the show should go. And because they didn't have like a true showrunner to kind of like oversee everything and kind of make the final call on like situations and decisions like that, it was just a very disjointed, disconnected mess, as we all witnessed by the end of the show. So making the decision to have actual showrunners kind of oversee at least every show from now on is definitely a good decision, I think. As for the multi-season things, I don't know. I mean, I guess some people might prefer that more. I mean, maybe they see the success of Loki and how that, has gone in its second season, and they're like, oh, we should just do, more seasons for these shows. That's what people want to see, obviously, but obviously it has to be good in order for that to be the case. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of split on the second one, honestly. Like, I feel like certain characters are better off as a limited series, like a one and done type thing, or even like a special presentation instead. But yeah, obviously things like Loki, I feel like are best served as having multiple seasons. So I guess it just depends.
Also, I don't. I feel like they just keep trying to bottleneck themselves into stuff.
True.
And it's like, just fucking make things, man. Who gives a
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah,
Just make it good. You don't have to have
Yeah.
these labels to make something good.
For
Just have to give
sure.
a shit about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's exactly right. I mean if whatever you're making is good, it doesn't matter how you make it, it doesn't matter what the process is, doesn't matter if it's one season, multiple seasons, 2 episodes, 8 episodes. Like if it's good, the rest doesn't matter. Like it's all gonna fall into place after that. But I don't know. I suppose we'll see.
So, next on the list here, again from Hollywood Reporter, they've also revealed that Marvel plans to drastically change Daredevil Born Again in favor of a darker direction more similar to the Netflix shows. They revealed that Punisher showrunner Dario Scardapain has been brought on to oversee these changes, and that Loki directors Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead will direct the rest of these episodes that haven't already been filmed yet.
Yeah, so basically they were about halfway done filming the show before the strikes, and apparently Marvel looked at what they already had internally.
This sucks.
And essentially, yeah, that's what they said. They said this is literal garbage. Like, why did we ever do this? Apparently one of the executives like literally fell asleep while watching it. It was quote unquote described as being that boring. So yeah, they just decided to completely overhaul it. As you said, they brought in a new showrunner. I do like the idea of bringing in the Loki season 2 directors though to
Fucking do everything.
to finish directing the remaining episodes. But I guess like
Please fix our show.
even the episodes they already filmed, like apparently they're like scrapping most of that. They're not scrapping everything. I guess they're going like the stuff they do like they're just going to be, keeping those scenes and just incorporating it into like the new stuff that they film. But the only bad thing for us at least about this is that we're obviously going to have to wait quite a bit longer before the show comes out. But, as long as it's good, as we've said, as long as it's good, it doesn't matter. It's all, the rest is just going to work itself out. But I'm not going to go into everything that I've heard as to why they didn't like the stuff that they've already filmed, but apparently one of the biggest factors was Matt Murdock does not suit up as Daredevil until like episode 5. Or I should say he didn't. He didn't suit up as Daredevil until like episode 5 in and mind you, because they're splitting it into 2 parts because it's like 18 episodes in total, but they're splitting it into like season 1 part 1, season 1 part 2. So it's like first 9 episodes is like essentially season 1A, and like more than half of that season we just don't even see Daredevil at all. I guess it was just going to be more of like a legal procedural drama rather than, seeing Daredevil too much. So yeah, I can definitely see why they wanted to change things, but obviously it's cool if you kind of intersperse that stuff with also seeing Daredevil action, of course, but to only see Matt Murdock
that's fucking ridiculous.
In court for the first 5 episodes. I mean, yeah, I feel like that would get
like it's a goddamn procedural.
right? feel like that definitely would get pretty stale after like the first 2 episodes at least, maybe even earlier. It depends how they did it, but yep. So if that was true, then yeah, I'm definitely glad that they decided to revamp the story and whatnot. But I suppose we shall see how it works out for them.
That right. I
So
think they know.
let's see. Then we transition to, according to the U.S. Copyright Office, Agatha is now expected to release in September 2024, Daredevil Born Again in January 2025, and Ironheart in September 2025. I mean, what isn't being pushed back nowadays?
True. Yeah, probably the most. Well, we already talked about the Daredevil situation, so we knew that was going to get delayed. But the most surprising one is definitely Ironheart not coming out until, well, basically 2 years from now, because that's already done. They're already done filming that. So the fact it's not going to be out for another 2 years is kind of wild. But as I think we talked about before, most people assume it is because they wanted to release closer to when Armor Wars comes out, like the movie. Because I guess it's gonna tie in pretty heavily with that movie. So I mean, I guess it makes sense, but like, what do they? Are they just scared that people are gonna forget? Like what happens? Like what happens in Ironheart completely if they have it come out like a year before the movie? I don't know. It's kind of weird, but that's what they want to do. That's fair.
I guess.
Something that. Go
As
ahead.
long as it's good. Sorry, that's all. I mean, that's all it boils down
Oh,
to.
for sure, yeah.
The same thing with games. It's like I'll deal with a delay, even if you have to
Yeah.
delay it again, as long
Right,
as when
yeah.
you do come out with it, it's a quality product.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you're just delaying it to waste my time and figure out how you can monetize it better,
that's what
then
I was saying. That's what I was saying. Like in most instances, I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you're delaying it to make it better, that's fine. But like, that's why I was saying that like that the Ironheart one specifically was weird because like they're already done basically
yeah,
with the show.
they
But
don't know.
They just don't understand.
They just
sheesh.
don't understand.
I guess I never really realized this, but next on the list here we have Marvel has officially confirmed that What If Season 2 will premiere this holiday season.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming out.
It's
I
kind
knew
of
it was coming out. I figured it was going to be like second quarter next year or something.
yeah.
But I guess that's one of the things they could have kept doing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Yeah, there was a lot of rumors, man. I mean, some people were saying it'd be delayed till next year. Some people, I think the last time we talked, there was a rumor that it's going to be late this year, which I guess turned out to be the right one. But it is weird though that they didn't specify the release date because I mean, holiday season, that's like what? Well, I guess it depends which holiday they're talking about, but I mean, it'll be out like at most 2 months from now, right? So the fact that they didn't say the release date 2 months out is kind of wild, but
It's kind of nuts.
but I guess it'll be out sometime around then. I don't know. Sometime within the next 2 months. They'll just leave it at that. They might just honestly just like surprise drop it. I don't even know.
Oh, a little bit of shadow dropping.
Yeah. Just like one day be like, you know what? We still gotta release that What If season 2. Just drop it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Should be
It's
fine.
not ass.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling myself.
Sheesh.
Well,
Might be.
True.
yeah, I hope not.
But it might.
First season was a banger.
Yeah, first season was pretty good.
There was like an
we
episode or two that was meh, but
True.
was pretty
Yeah.
overall a net
Yeah.
positive.
For sure.
So now we have from My Time to Shine Hello claims that Vision Quest is still being developed despite the writers recently removing the show from their online profiles.
We got new writers, is what that says.
Mhm.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
And then we have Marvel author Joanna Robinson claims that she's the head of the studio plans to completely scrap the upcoming Wonder Man TV series, even though it already started filming before the strikes.
I actually want Wonder Man.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know. This is okay. So before we get into this, whether we agree with the decision or not, I did a lot of looking into this, and she's the only person I've seen said this so far, at least. Pretty much every other insider slash scooper that I like follow or, pay attention to the stuff that they report on, like no one else has said anything about this. So as of now, hopefully it's it's not, that means that it's not entirely true as of yet. But obviously she is a writer for Marvel. She obviously has connections and she's involved with a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So it's not just like some random person saying this, which means that it has a bit more credibility. So I don't know. I don't know if they truly are scrapping the show or not, but I hope they don't. I hope they don't, because I'm with Evan. This is definitely, aside from Loki season 2 and Daredevil, this was definitely the show that I was most looking forward to of the ones that we knew of, like that were in some level of production. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
All I got to say is went.
Like she didn't say like a reason either as to why that was the case, if it is true.
Cause why,
So
dude?
I guess so.
Cause fuck you and everything you want.
That's basically the extent of what they gave. And the other thing too is like I don't know why they would, even after it started filming, because let's say for instance they filmed a couple episodes and like the Daredevil thing they looked at and thought it was trash, right? Why wouldn't you just do what you're doing with Daredevil and just hire someone else and have them revamp the show, But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Hopefully we'll find out, more official information about that relatively soon, but until then, I guess we just have to hope that it doesn't get canceled.
Yeah. It might.
Hopefully not.
But it might.
Sheesh.
I'm like Mr. Negative tonight.
Okay. Again from My Time to Shine Hello. They claim that Emilia Clarke will return as Gaia soon enough, and will be leading her own group of British superheroes.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about that.
European Avengers.
If Secret fucking Invasion wasn't such a shit show, I might have been excited.
I mean, she's kind of OP, no? Does she even need a superhero group?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Does she even need a team to help her?
Like, they're like, this mistake that probably should have never happened. Let's just make a show out of it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't even know. trying to think of what like British superhero teams there are in the comics that they could be doing. I don't really know. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but
Captain Britain.
he could be a part of it, but I don't know. Was he on a team in the comics? A British team? Probably. There probably was. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, could they find a way to make it good? Of course, but I'm kind of with you.
But will they?
I don't really. I'm kind of with you, man. Like anything associated with Secret Invasion, I just like don't want them to do anything with ever again. But that's a shame because I actually do like Emilia Clarke as an actor. But you know, it
suck.
It's nothing you can do about it now, I suppose.
What they could have done.
It's made
Secret
the show good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much sense there.
Yeah, that's too much to ask.
Speaking of maybe they should have done something different. Next on the list is we have the Marvels officially releases this week coming up. However, ticket pre-sales are said to be pacing behind recent superhero flops such as Shazam 2 and The Flash. W win right now. After reading that, they should just put it on Disney Plus. Be done with it.
Well, they will. They will at some point.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, pre-sales aren't like the nail in the coffin, right? Like if the movie is good, right? If the movie is good, then the word of mouth will spread in a positive way. And I think, you know, it could have either like a late weekend or like a second week resurgence, obviously. But yeah, the pre-sale numbers being that low is definitely concerning for sure. For them at least, for their ability to make a profit off of the film. But yeah, I don't really know why, because in my opinion the trailers look pretty decent. The only thing I can think of is maybe it's just because of the last couple Marvel films haven't been too great aside from Guardians, maybe. So maybe people are just assuming it might be a flop as well. I don't know. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna see it for sure, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it.
What's up?
I said, yeah, I'm gonna see it. I don't know when that'll be. But...
Right, yeah. I will say I have been
Josh to go on Thursday, but I can't.
Okay. I said I don't know.
Yeah, we know what you said.
But I'm not gonna lie though, I have been hearing some interesting things, or I shouldn't say things, but interesting possibilities as to what could happen in this film. One of which was basically all but confirmed through a leak earlier today, which we're not going to talk about since the movie, you know, comes out this week. You know, at this point, we might as well just wait until it comes out to talk about it. But if this was like a couple months ago, then yeah, we for sure would have talked about it. But yeah, with it being so close to release, I won't, you know, fully go into what the leak was. But all I'll say is that they added
the best Marvel's movie yet.
No. It's nothing to do with.
That's not the leak.
No, it has nothing to do with the actual movie itself. It's the post-credit scene. Yeah, all I will say, I'll give you guys a little hint. All I'll say is that it is something X-Men related. Take that.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious in the trailer.
I'll take that as you will, but yeah, if they do it anywhere close to how it was, portrayed through the leak, it's gonna be a banger post credit scene for sure. Now, will the actual movie itself be good? Obviously, we'll have to find that out. But I did see something interesting too. I guess in one of the TV spots, they had Thanos dialogue, and one of the lines we have not heard before, like in any of the movies. So some people are theorizing that Thanos might somehow be in this movie, whether through like a flashback or I don't know, like a variant or something else. I don't know. It would be crazy, but what more likely, it's probably they just used like a recorded Josh Brolin line that they just like cut.
Wasn't used.
Yeah, they just like cut or didn't use, and like now why they would choose to use it now for the trailer for the movie if he's not going to be in it is also weird. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see in a couple days once the movie is out. But I did see that. I thought that was interesting either way for sure. But I suppose we'll see.
And the last thing I have on the list here is that there's a huge report from Variety detailing the recent failings of the MCU claims that the show is now seeking to reunite the original 6 Avengers as the main characters for the next 2 Avengers films. They further add that Doctor Doom might take over as the next main villain if everything goes poorly with the Jonathan Majors legal issues.
Yeah, so
which if I can add to that just real quick, I just seen I don't know how true it is, just a report or a rumor going around that Downey just signed a new contract with Marvel.
yeah, that's next up.
Oh, shit.
You're jumping the gun a little bit, but that's fine.
Oh shit.
We'll get into it when we get to that part of the podcast. But as for this, so basically they were saying that their plans were they looked at how the last couple movies have gone, and they're like, okay, this isn't working. So Variety was saying that they were entertaining the idea of just basically going back to the glory days of when everything was good and bringing back the original Avengers for the next. Now, how they would do this, I have no idea. Maybe like through the multiverse or variants or whatever, but like bring all of them back as the main, not even just as like cameos, as like the main Avengers team for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. So again, how they would do that, I have no idea.
Help, we're running out of ideas.
A lot of people were very opposed to this, rightfully so. I feel like, yeah, that would definitely just be weird, especially since like half of them are dead. So like, I mean, they're basically means that their deaths were like for nothing, or well, not for nothing, but their deaths like basically just didn't happen, I guess. In
say for
War
nothing.
Endgame. Yeah, I suppose that's true. And that as for the other thing, I mean, like the Doctor Doom replacing Kang, I mean, yeah, I guess it just depends what happens with Jonathan Majors, but I don't know though, because it's gonna be tough because, well, I will probably know more after the finale of Loki season 2, because if they end it like how I've heard they could potentially end it as like one of the possibilities, it is going to be very difficult for them to move away from Kang because the more they release, the more stuff they release with Kang, the more difficult it's going to be for them to move away from him. So yeah, I don't know how they would do that if it comes down to it, but I mean, could they find a way? Sure. I guess it'll just depends, as you said, what happens with that whole, his legal situation. But yeah, I guess the very last thing too, at least that I was gonna add, but apparently a lot of other insiders and even other like trade sources have not disproven, but basically they're saying that most of the stuff that Variety was reporting was not true. And apparently, um, I did a little bit more research, and apparently, the person that wrote this particular report, like, they're responsible for like 90% of the stuff that Variety has reported not being true.
Nice.
Like, most of the time, Variety is pretty spot on with what they report, but apparently, like the stuff that they are not correct on, like this person that wrote this particular article is like responsible for most of that, um which I thought was funny. But with that also in mind, you should probably, obviously not take any of this stuff as too much of a fact, at least not yet, until we hear from other people. But yeah, I don't I the Doctor Doom thing is probably the most likely thing to happen, depending on what happens with Jonathan Majors. But there's just no way they're bringing back the whole previous Avengers team again, dude.
We're doing it. We're starting over, doing it again.
There's just no way. Now, could they come back as variants, like as cameos, like with the multiverse and all that? I think they will. But yeah, there ain't no way that they're gonna be the main Avengers team again, like the actual like original like 616 MCU version of those characters.
Um,
Was that
is
it for you?
everything on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Well, I'll see
Evan,
you guys
yeah,
in a couple weeks.
you
It's good talking. Bye.
Sheesh.
Okay, my time to fucking talk. Let me pull that up. All right. So, here we go. My Time to Shine Hello claims that Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. have signed on to appear in Secret Wars in some capacity, but that the film's two lead characters will be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not what I was expecting if this is true, but I 100% be all for it. Toby Spider-Man and Hugh Jackman as the main characters in Secret Wars, of course, dude.
I will believe that shit when I see that shit.
But yeah, that's probably what you were referring to in the last part, Ben.
Yeah.
So it's not official, obviously. He hasn't actually signed on. Well, maybe he has, but they haven't confirmed that he has signed on.
No,
But
he sent me a text message.
if they are
So
in the
good.
movie, it's probably going to be as variants of their respective characters, They might be on the multiversal Avengers team though. In Secret Wars, who knows?
The name's Tony Stank. Never heard of him. Okay, well, with that, Variety has reported that Marvel has hired yet another writer, Michael Green, to rewrite the Blade film after Mahershala Ali was supposedly close to leaving the project in its previous state. Additionally, director Yen Demange, Jesus, has now confirmed the film will be rated R. And if it wasn't gonna be, I was not gonna watch it. I mean, I'd watch it. I'd the whole time be like, it should be rated R.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, if it sucks and it keeps sucking, just get a new writer, man. Especially if the main reason people want to see it is about to walk out the fucking door.
Right, dude. Yeah, like I don't know. There's been a we'll literally be here for like a whole nother 2 hours if we talk about everything that I've
Oh yeah, no,
heard
God no.
of like the potential uh like bad things that were in like the previous iterations of the script for
No
this movie.
tanks.
But I mean, I've heard everything from like I guess one version of the script, Blade was like the fourth leading character in his own movie. Uh yeah, it's there's definitely been some weird stuff that has been reported about some of the previous versions of this script. And yeah, it's just all weird, man. Like I mean, like you said, if it's bad, like I'm at least glad that they recognize it and they just keep trying and trying again until they get it right. But at the same time, like I don't know, man. Like I just don't know like what their process is. That it's just like such a bad I don't know like
They
script
also
each
do not
time.
know.
Um but I mean we'll see how Michael Green does taking a stab at the script. I mean he has helped write like one of my top five favorite superhero films and one of my top five non-Star Wars sci-fi films. So I mean that's hopefully that's a good sign that they might actually get a good script this time, but I do not know.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Sheesh.
I just sent that trailer to you, Josh. 23 minutes ago. It's the Marvel's final trailer.
Oh, sheesh.
The first thing I see is a Tony Stark flashback. So,
Hey, yo. Hold on a
so we want to watch
second.
this together.
I don't
I'm
think
pulling
I
it up right
can on
now.
on the stream.
Well, I mean,
Here's
like
what
we
we'll
can
do.
watch it. We don't have
Yeah,
to
for
watch it on
sure.
this.
What we'll do is, I guess if anyone is watching, you can just look up the trailer and we'll all just like start it at the same time and watch it. But I will have to change the screen because I do not want this video taken down for a copyright strike again. Yeah, we'll just do this. And YouTube, the Marvels trailer. Where is it? Oh, here we go. All right, I am ready whenever you guys are to start this.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, hit it. Okay. Just keep going, just keep going. Wait, what? Wait, which part? So, hold on, let me go. wait, wait, you're right. Hold on. I didn't even uh no, that's not the leak I was talking about. Yeah, I can tell you right now that leak is something completely different, but um yo, this is wait. This is
To this.
wait. This movie actually might be more pivotal than I thought in terms of like leading
Yeah.
into like the Avengers movies because I thought if they did like an incursion, it would be like an end credit scene or like the very end of the movie, but it looks like there's literally incursions happening in the middle of the film. That like that's one of the key plot points. Interesting.
So what he's saying,
Um
Evan, is he might go see this movie on Thursday.
You
okay.
can go see it with me, dude.
Sheesh. Okay, okay.
But yeah, so there we go. Just wanted to share that.
Yeah, good thing you did,
But
dude. Good thing you did. I had no idea.
moving
Um
on.
yeah,
Or are
for
we
sure.
gonna talk about it?
No, I mean that's
Okay.
that's pretty much all. That's my initial
Okay.
thoughts right there.
So moving on to something I'm infinitely more excited for. Um, My Time to Shine Hello claims that Deadpool 3's main plot revolves around the TVA recruiting the prime variants of different heroes to create a multiversal army to fight against the Kang. Jackman's Wolverine is supposedly chosen to help recruit this team, but he's not fully on board at first, which is natural to Wolverine. He says no first every time. Daniel RPK claims that a variant of Blade will appear in the film. Imagine it's Wesley Snipes
It could actually be because I saw not too long
and he
ago.
dies and we get ours.
Not too long ago, I saw something where like Ryan Reynolds was saying like he really liked Wesley Snipes' Blade or something like that. Um, so I mean, sheesh, dude. If that's the case, they might have got him to appear as Blade, but if true, this also would make sense as to how Wolverine might be one of the main characters in Secret Invasion, or not
True.
Secret Invasion, Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. It's not get him switched up.
Yeah, let's not.
But
Okay, yeah, that would be. I mean, that'd be cool for sure if that turns out to be true.
something a little related, and by related I mean only by release dates. Deadline reports that Captain America 4 will likely move into Deadpool 3's May 2024 release slot, with Deadpool likely being delayed till later in the year, possibly as late as November/December. I'll end it, but it's gonna happen. So
Sheesh.
I'm not saying what I'm ending. I'm just gonna end.
Yeah, for sure.
Who knows what I'm
Um,
talking about?
yeah. So apparently, I guess Captain America 4, and I'm by the way, I'm until the movie comes out, I'm only gonna refer to it as Captain America 4 because they've changed the subtitle like four times now. So I'm just not, so I'm just not gonna pay attention to what that is until the movie comes out and they actually lock it in. But apparently they completed filming for it before the strikes happened. So obviously they would be able to get that done. That movie, like, edited and through the post production process way before they can Deadpool 3. However, I did see something interesting. Apparently, so they got about halfway through filming Deadpool 3 before the strikes happened. And I guess the director said they've already edited that half of the movie as well. So I mean, this is definitely copium on my part, but if the strikes were to end soon, like within the next few weeks, there is a chance that it could still make that release date because they only have to film and edit one half of the film, right? Because they're already done with the first half. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But
Well, moving on to some more depressing news.
sheesh.
Daniel RPK claims that Thor 5 is in development, but that Taika Waititi will not return to direct. I don't blame him. However, the trades reported earlier that this fall, the trade reported earlier this fall that a fifth film was not in development at that time. Honestly, this was a nothing sandwich of an article.
Well, the reason I included that was because everyone's talked about, oh, Thor 5 confirmed, Thor 5 confirmed, but they forget that I can't remember who it was, but one of the trades reported like a month or two ago that Thor 5 was not in development. Now, could it be the case that, that was also before the writer's strike ended, right? So could it be the case that since the writer's strike concluded after that, it was then, like shortly after that, they decided to move forward with Thor 5? I'm not sure. But if it is true, I don't know. Like, if it could get back to like Thor Ragnarok level, then of course I would be all for it. But I feel like Thor is just like the Thor movies are just like a mixed bag in terms of what you're gonna get. But
Not wrong.
we'll see, I suppose.
All right. Well, moving on. Multiple insiders are claiming that the Incredible Hulk will show up in multiple upcoming projects, including a possible solo film before the time that Secret Wars releases. How many times I've heard Hulk's getting a solo film, and then I just hear they literally legally can't.
Well, they have the rights now.
Yeah, I know, but like, it doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking see it. Like, is it gonna be a real thing? Is it real?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I thought you were, when you said, I thought you meant like it doesn't mean that like when it's out you're gonna see it. I was
Oh my
like,
god, no, it doesn't mean I'm ever gonna. This is ever gonna see the
like,
light
yeah,
of
that
day.
they're ever gonna make it. Yeah, that's true. Everything is just like so much in flux now, man. Like with the strikes and like COVID before that, like all their plans are just like, and then the Jonathan Major situation, like, I'm not even sure they know for sure that they're gonna continue with him, and it's like, who knows what's gonna happen, man. Like, even if this is their plan now, it doesn't mean that, in a couple months it's still gonna be their plan, right? But with that being said, if it does happen, I'd be all for it because there are so many cool storylines they could do from the comics, and even I guess the original storylines too that they could do with the Hulk. That would be awesome to see. But as you said, will we ever see it? I don't know.
No.
I hope so, but it's hard to say.
Well, moving on to something a little better. My Time to Shine Hello claims that Tom Hardy's Venom will cross paths with Tom Holland's Spider-Man sooner than we might think, and that Spider-Man 4's production start date has been delayed to late 2024, naturally. I feel like they've been sitting on that money bag and they're just itching to use it, so.
Yeah, I mean, with that, I feel like they could mean that he might be in Venom 3, not gonna lie. Because I would assume, if they're saying it's gonna happen sooner than we think, I would assume it wouldn't happen until at least Spider-Man 4, right? So if it's happening sooner than that, the only other thing that would make sense is Venom 3. But I don't know how they would do that. I mean, maybe like an end credit scene or something, but who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? But I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you prefer that, or would you rather Tom's Spider-Man go up against just like a different version of Venom, like within the MCU?
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know either. Honestly, that's why I asked you guys what if you guys had
Depends
a
on who's
preference.
writing
But
it, really.
yeah, because like maybe I'm just like Tom Hardy's a good actor, obviously, but I don't know, man. Like maybe it's just because like the movies could have been like the Venom movies could have been so much better. I'm like, no, I'd rather see Tom Spider-Man go up against like a different version of Venom. But as you said, I mean, if it's like an MCU collaboration, if it turns out to be Spider-Man 4 with like John Watts as director, I mean, it could be good, you know? It could work out, but I don't know. It would make sense though, because well, actually, I don't know what Sony's doing, man. I was gonna say, would like, why would Sony make that version of Venom if they never planned to have him actually cross paths with Spider-Man? But then I thought, well, it is Sony. Do they actually have a plan for anything? I don't know. So
Yeah, I don't think they know. All right, well, I got to step away for a second, so I'm just gonna say this next one and then be right back.
yeah, sounds
Mhm.
good.
Daniel RPK claims that Michael Keaton is being sought to return as the Vulture in Spider-Man 4, and that a live-action Miles Morales Spider-Man project is currently in development. It fucking better be. That's what I gotta say. Right back.
Okay. Um. Yeah. So, well, first of all, the Miles Morales project would be sick for sure.
Yeah.
But do we think it's going to be in the MCU, or do you think it's going to be one of Sony's like spin-off films?
I would think it would have to be Sony.
Yeah.
Just because, only because they've done the Into, Across, Beyond, Spider versus movies,
That's
and
true,
they've
yeah.
already established that Miles character within all of those films. So
Yeah,
could
that's
it be
true.
could it be a continuation of that version of Miles through live action? Sure,
Yeah.
but I would think it would have to stay within Sony for that all to make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what they could do as well is make like the Miles Morales project in like their own universe or whatever, and then eventually just have him cross over into the MCU or something. Basically, the reason I asked is because like Tom Holland isn't going to be Spider-Man forever, right? In the MCU, and he's already talked about wanting to pass the mantle off to another character like a Miles Morales or something like that in the MCU. So I don't know. I mean, I guess they could have like two different versions of Miles Morales going on if they wanted, but I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I guess they could have, because I don't know if Sony will let Marvel do a solo Miles Morales film. I mean, they did for Spider-Man, I guess. So if he's gonna be taking over Spider-Man, maybe they would, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends, but what was the other thing he said? Get a look. Michael
Sorry
Keaton
about that.
returning as a vulture. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Um didn't the vulture go to Morbius's universe?
Who fucking knows?
Wait, hold, this is good. This is good. Does this mean, as this article suggests, could they be retconning Morbius?
Who knows?
Either that or
They don't even know.
either that or just they're just gonna like just bring Keaton's Vulture like back into the 616 MCU like nothing ever happened, dude. They'd be like, "Yep, nope, you're coming back to this universe. Actually, need you back." But I mean, I'd be all for it. I liked him in the Homecoming for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they don't have to fucking bring him back to life
True.
because he's not dead.
The only thing I worry about is if that is the case, I hope they don't bring Morbius along.
Oh my god, there's no way they can't.
Oh no.
They can't get away with it. But anyway, that is it for Marvel news.
Gotcha.
We're going to be moving on to some of the DC Universe news and slash rumors. Don't forget about those. Deadline has confirmed that the Penguin TV series has been delayed, naturally, from spring 2024 to fall 2024, with a longer delay possible depending on the length of the strikes. Great.
Yeah.
That's all I got to fucking say about that one. Oh,
I mean, it's not too bad of a delay.
they said it might be more.
Unless it's like, well, I mean, like as of now, it's not too bad of a delay. Unless they were planning to release it like early spring, like March, and then it's like late fall, like October or something. That would be kind of a delay. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see once they officially confirm the release date. But yeah, definitely does. It is unfortunate nonetheless.
Okay. Well, moving on to some DCEU leaks. Reddit mods have revealed one of their verified sources claims that Ozark showrunner Chris Mundy has been hired as the Green Lantern series showrunner. That would make sense.
How so?
I like the Ozark. So I haven't watched it all, but what I've seen, I like.
Oh yeah, it is a really good show. So yeah, if that's the case, that's pretty good.
Have you seen the Ozark, Ben?
I have not.
It's pretty good.
That has Jason Bateman in it, doesn't it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm surprised I know that much.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Those same mods also claim that Oscar nominee John Logan is currently in talks to write the Brave and the Bold film for DCU.
I'm also all for that as well, if that turns out to be true.
I don't know who that is.
He's done like let's see, he's done Gladiator, The Aviator, he did what were those James?
The Gatorator.
Yeah, pretty much. He did two of the James Bond movies. I think it was Skyfall and Spectre, I want to say.
Man, DCU is looking better and better.
Sheesh. Yeah, he's definitely got some very good movies in his credits, but yeah, man, if that's the case, yeah, yet again, that's a good choice in my opinion.
Oh shit, sorry. I'm coughing my ass off over here.
Oh no. Don't die.
Okay. Woo. Fuck, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
My drink went down the wrong fucking pipe.
I can stall more. I can stall more. Yeah. How was the weather today, guys? How was it?
I got it. Nathaniel RPK claims that a standalone Scarecrow movie is in development, set in the same universe as Matt Reeves' Batman film. Now, will we get Cillian Murphy back? That'd be dope. Imagine. No, I don't think we will, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's I mean, it'll be
More
either
non-Batman stuff, but
right, for sure. I mean, it'll probably be either a show or a movie, even though it says a movie. Because I remember the last time there was a rumor about this, they said they're going to be doing like TV series spin-offs of different like Batman villains within the Matt Reeves Batman universe. So I don't really know if it's going to be a movie or a show. I feel like it would be better as a show, personally, but yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Mainly because they're already working on the Penguin series. I would assume that they would continue doing anything like that within that same medium. But yeah, I mean, if it's hard to say without having like seen the Penguin yet. But if the Penguin is good, which from what little we know and have heard about it so far, yeah, it's most people who have seen like footage from it say it looks good. Yeah, I'm sure this could be very good as well. But it's it's still weird though that they're like trying to like fully flesh out like two different universes within DC at the same time. But I mean, if they're both good, I guess it does. I guess it doesn't matter. But
two's better than one.
Sheesh. But yeah,
no,
be cool for sure.
Yeah. Now, coming up is something I called a while back. Because it would just make sense since they hinted at like quarter owl shit. But insider Jeff Snyder claims that Hush is one of the few characters currently being considered for the main villain role in Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2. I would fucking love that.
That would be sick. Yeah.
They just have Robert Pattinson acting across himself.
Sheesh. Yeah.
Until they do the reveal.
Yeah. Yeah. That would that'd be pretty cool. I feel like it fits perfectly into like the kind of style of like Batman movie that Matt Reeves kind of like set up with the first one. Like I feel like that type of villain would fit perfectly within the universe.
Yeah, I mean they already talked about the main families that like built Gotham.
Right, yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think what was the last rumor? I know there's one other rumor of a potential
Clayface?
Yes, it was Clayface, yeah. But I mean, I guess he could be in it too because it said main villain. Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily like a main villain, but he's in the movie.
Right, yeah. Which could make sense.
At least like his characters usually like that.
For sure.
Depends, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
what story you're reading, but
I guess it just depends. Like if they go for something similar as to like the long Halloween story arc, right, from the comics, I mean, obviously they would have multiple villains in there regardless. So I mean, maybe that's where like Clayface and like Scarecrow and some of these other villains that have been rumored might come into play. But I don't know, man. It's just either way, I'm hyped for it, and it's more likely than not going to be very good.
it has to be.
Sheesh.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, not we usually talk about video game stuff last, not really a whole lot. There was Spider-Man 2, obviously, that finally released for the PS5. Yes, I have to agree. Very, very good. Definitely one of the best games I've played this year. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not really a whole lot of things I would have changed, honestly, about the game. Like it was just very solid game overall, I thought. I know there's a lot of people who, probably just love to complain about everything or anything that have their fair share of complaints about the game, but no, I was really impressed with it. I thought they did a good job. And it only makes me even more hyped for the Wolverine game
Oh yeah,
and
Spider-Man 3.
some of these other games that they may or may not potentially be working on, such as a Venom game, if that's to be believed. But
Oh, my
yeah.
mic was muted.
Sheesh. Well, I thought it was good. We'll we'll wait probably until the next. I was thinking about doing a like video game of the year segment, but we'll probably wait until like the next podcast or the podcast after to do that, like closer to the Game Awards.
True.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything either. Oh, okay, hold on. There, so I don't know if anyone or how many people are familiar with The Day Before,
Oh yeah,
but it is
forgot about that.
it is a game that myself and many other people have been looking forward to for like 4 to 5 years now since they first announced it. And they finally revealed a like a final like overview trailer for the game. And they also confirmed that the release date will be out early December. I can't remember the exact date,
It was like a
but
4th or something.
yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed that game, is well worth the wait because yeah, they've been making us wait a long time. So hopefully it turns out to be worth the wait and it doesn't flop. But you know, we shall see. But and again, like the trailer is not really anything crazy. It just shows you like the basics of the game. It's only like 3 minutes long, so it's kind of hard to get a good understanding or a good gauge as to how good the game might be per se. But I mean, definitely showed potential for sure, I would say. But I guess, like I said, we'll just have to wait until it comes out in a month from now to know for sure. Hopefully, it's good. But and apart from that, I mean, I guess a couple other quick things like Modern Warfare 3 is out obviously now. I haven't played
Yeah,
it.
sure
I
is.
haven't played it yet, but I've been hearing very mixed things about it, particularly the campaign. If you know, you know. And Fortnite brought the OG map back as well. And a lot of people are playing. I'm pretty sure they peaked in like their all-time viewership over the weekend. Not viewership,
We
but
like Fortnite. We like Fortnite.
like people in the
Player.
game. Yeah,
Mm.
player count. But
Got me back somehow.
sheesh. Dude,
At least for a
I
couple
will
games.
say, man, regardless of what you might think about Fortnite, man, like Epic, I mean, I'm sorry, dude, I hate to say it, but Epic, they're definitely one of the
Never
best.
misses.
They're one of the best to do it out there right now because every single time that their game like starts to get into like a little bit of a lull, like it starts to get a little bit stale, like people are leaving the game, they're like, all right, we're gonna do something crazy to get everyone back in here, dude. Like, or whether it's a like
A Travis
crazy,
Scott
yeah,
concert.
whether it's like a crazy like event like that, or bringing in like no builds, the game mode, or bringing back the OG map. I mean, like, I don't know if I've seen any other like game studio developer like just constantly bring their game back to life like that, like time and time again. It's definitely impressive for sure. I have to give them that. But yeah, I think that's all I got to talk about. Do you guys have anything you wanted to add?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Nothing.
Well, we're not leaving until you do. I'm just trolling. You got the Harry Potter fact for us, or
Bro, I said nothing, so you didn't bring it up.
sheesh.
Then you
Hey,
brought it up anyways.
I can't let you off. Get that. I'm just kidding. It's all good if you don't got one.
Let me see if I can think of one off the cuff. Um, Did you know? God damn.
Did you guys know that Daniel Radcliffe was the actor that played Harry Potter?
There's gonna be some shit like that. Oh my god.
That's pretty cracked. I just found that out the other
I
day.
ain't got nothing.
Yeah, no worries,
It's
no
all
worries.
like niche shit that nobody would know about.
That's all good. It's all good.
Shit about fuck.
Like, here we go.
Okay.
You remember Rita Skeeter?
No.
Fourth movie, she's the
ghost?
reporter.
Report. Oh, okay. Yes.
So in the books, she's actually a bigger part of the fourth book. And it turns out the way that she's figuring out all these stories that she shouldn't be knowing is she's an animagus, which means she can she can change herself into an animal.
Yeah.
And she could be a beetle. And so in the books, anytime there was like a story that got out that there's like no way she would know, there was always a beetle in the background. It was mentioned. So there you go. Niche Harry Potter fact.
That actually is pretty cool. I never knew that. Yeah, I'm kind of, well, okay. Well, let me calm down. I was gonna say that's why I'm glad that they're making a show so that they can kind of like expand on stuff like that from the books.
Dude. I hope
But I was gonna say, look,
so
let me reel
much,
them back
dude.
because I don't know. You know, they could easily choke. Like they could easily
sure.
they could easily just make it bad.
Fumble that bag.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think the TV show format, though, whether it's good or not, I definitely think the format of
It's the
making
way
it
to
into
go,
a TV
for
show,
sure.
yes, was the correct choice because
One season for each book, dude. I've been saying it for years.
yeah, because like there's so many, like every time you say something like that, I'm just like, yeah, I had no idea that was a thing. Like
Yeah, there's so much
like,
shit.
there's so much additional information and stuff that they could include with like a longer format, like a show, and doing like you said, one book a season. But yeah,
They don't
see
even
how it
go
goes.
into the death day party, dude.
Sheesh. See,
They
I
go
don't
into a
even
party
know
full of ghosts. The party full of ghosts. Harry goes with Nicholas Flamel to make him look good.
Okay.
And when they get there, all the food is old and fucking moldy because they can't eat, and it's the closest thing they can get to tasting something.
Sheesh. Actually, dude, the only reason I knew that last part was because of the Hogwarts Legacy game.
Oh yeah,
that one like mission where you have to go and get like that. I can't remember what it is, but it's like a rotten piece of food for that ghost. Yeah. Also a good game, by the way. Also a good game, but
good.
yeah, man. I think that's gonna about do it. But in terms of when the next podcast might be, I guess stay tuned because I do not know when it'll be. Probably won't be another 5 weeks again, like last time, just because I mean, there's a lot more stuff that's gonna be out. With like the Loki finale and the Invincible season 2 mid-season finale, the Marvels, the Godzilla spin-off show. Like there's a lot of stuff that's gonna be coming out over the next few weeks, and I'm sure news-wise as well. So it'll be a couple weeks at least, but as to exactly when, yeah, just stay tuned and I'll let you know when we find out. But until then, thanks for watching. Everyone have a good rest of your day or night, depending where you're at. And we'll see you next time.
Adios.